What up racer, ItsJerone here, and welcome back to another league racing video. Today we are here for the second round of the AOR season, and we're here in Barcelona around the Circuit de Catalunya. First of all, I want to show my gratitude for everyone who has subscribed in recent times. It is massively appreciated. If you feel like it, then please hit that subscribe button, it's massively appreciated. Alright, now that we have that cringy intro out of the way, if you did not watch the first race, then I would highly recommend to do so, because the standings are on your screen now. And yeah, first race was a bit chaotic, I would say. In the end, came home in P7, P6, which is not very optimal, but there's always opportunity to do better, and hopefully I will do so today. For qualifying, I wanted to start on the mediums, so I invalidated this lap on purpose here, and then I messed up the final chicane anyways, so there's easily another 2 or 3 tenths there, and in the end, coming across the line, it's a 15.9 banker, which is not very good, because as you'll see in a few moments we will beat that on my medium run, which we will go to now. Still 7 minutes left in the session. Just in case I did mess up this run on mediums, I would still have a chance to go out on softs and either go for P11 or go for a high classification. Turn 1, 2, 3, you want to carry as much speed as possible, cut the inside of the left-hander as much as possible. Straight line it here, then just before the billboards on top, you want to brake. Try and carry as much speed as possible. Of course, we're fairly similar to our Delta because we're on a harder set compounds now, but the track has evolved a little bit, so it's not too much difference. And of course, this lap on my mediums is a lot more committed than the one on the softs. Missed the apex there quite a bit and had to lift quite massively as a result. Then coming into the hairpin, I do like to use first gear just to try and rotate the car a little bit more. I do not recommend going down to second gear there, but I don't know, I felt like I suddenly got hit with too much understeer, so felt like it was needed to go down to second gear. Overall, it was quite a bit of a scruffy lap actually. It was not perfect, and in the end I put in a 15.7, and yeah, I was not particularly happy with this because I did a 15.5 in practice earlier on the mediums, and as you can see, there's currently only one medium runner, TRM Kende, ahead of me, only at about a tenth. So in the end I decided to go out for another run on the soft compound, and as you can see, it really wasn't a good run because in the second TRS straight we're only 10.5 up. And ideally pull time is somewhere around 14.9 at the moment, so I will need to improve a lot. Fortunately though, soft compound tire works very well in the final sector, but I got just a bit of dirty air from that AlphaTauri driver, which was a bit annoying, and in the end I would only improve by 4 tenths, and that's clearly not good enough to at least get into the top 4. And I would rather take a P10 on mediums than starting outside of the top 4 on soft compound tire. So I think this was the right call in the end. Pasti also put in a lap time on the mediums, got ahead of me. And yeah, let's get into the race basically. Unfortunately, in the end of the race, the results screen after the session got bugged out and we didn't go back to the main menu. Hence, the game decided not to save the replay files, so unfortunately I cannot show you any replay files for this race, which is a little bit annoying. For the strategy, I think it's very tight between a medium to hard and a medium to softs. I think this will ultimately depend on my track position and what the field spread is like. Anyways though, we have 5 red lights starting from P10 on the grid, and we get quite an okay start relative to the other medium runners around me. Did get ahead of Pasti a little bit, and going into turn 1, take it quite conservatively of course, but this Mercedes on the right hand side was quite slow, and I sort of had to take avoiding action, and also great that Basti managed to sort of get out of the way a bit there, because going 3 wide suddenly was not really going to work. Anyways though, I have Bankai down my inside, who got a really good start I think on the mediums as well. And once again I tried to overtake him on the inside, which I managed to do. Then going into this fast chicane, and I've done it again. I have done it again. Somehow I managed to spin once again on the opening lap. Well, last time in AOR it was lap 2, but yeah, Silverstone in FRL spun on the opening lap as well. And I think I know why now. And well, I'm not gonna tell yet what I will change for the race, but hopefully that will stop me from spinning when under high fuel load on relatively cold tires on the opening lap. So yeah, this was not a very optimal start, because now I have a lot of work to do, drop down to P17, and I'm not gonna show you the whole thing. I want to show this though. This is my race director, and I was very happy with this. Many consecutive good laps, and yeah, enjoy this little compilation.
Officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now, just be careful. Yellow flag.
Alright, cutting back to the action now. This would be the lap where I would catch up to all the other medium and hard runners, and the first thing I see is people going 3 wide down the main straight, which is interesting. And in the meanwhile, all the soft runners have come into the pit lane, which means we're currently in P5. This is not our net position, of course. And yeah, as I said, I would catch up to the spec on this lap, get DRS for the first time down the main straight. And for this race I had another teammate, a different teammate than I will have for the rest of the races. So my teammate comes into the pit lane as the first to pit from this strategy. Then next lap Pedro would come in, who's already claimed 6 seconds of time penalties. Meanwhile I think I'm only on 1 warning at this stage. And the tires are still in quite a good shape. The left front tire is the tire that wears out the most around this track. And yeah, at this stage I was just basically saving my left front tire a little bit whilst I was in the DRS, because this pace was a little bit slower than I had done on my first, well, 10-12 laps really, to try and catch up. And here Pedro just touches the inside curb with the right hander a little bit, and you do not want to touch that because that will unsettle the balance of your car, and that means I get promoted up to 2nd place, and more importantly I'm in 2nd place in this DRS tray now, with Sastar leading it on the hard tires. Not sure why he's going defensive, because he had like a 9/10 gap at the start of the straight, so there's absolutely no way I was going to overtake him. And I think our mutual goal is just to try and go as fast as possible, to try and build as much of a gap on all the soft runners that had started this race. And in the end we'll try to see where we come out. And yeah, as you can see here, and just taking this left-handers very cautiously to try and save my left front tire, because I think at this stage I decided I want to go medium soft. And yeah, as you can see on the minimap, the field spread is quite large, and starting lap 17, planning to make a move on Sastar, which is quite easy with the DRS, managed to stay close through the final sector, and apparently my medium compound still has better grip than the hard tires. It's also something I noticed in my own practice. The hard tire is basically the medium tire, except it's 4/10 slower. So yeah, and also I think generally speaking I'm a little bit better paced than Sestar, who pits now on this lap. In the meanwhile, TRM K Victor is the net race leader, and he managed to get past Solid Ninja on the previous lap, and this lap he will get past me. And I thought, let's just try and work together with him. I'll just let him have the race line here. And I thought, well, let's just see if I can at least try and stick in his DRS range, because if I can do that for 2 more laps, then that would help me massively to try and overcut everyone else. As in the meanwhile, an AlphaTauri bins it into the wall. That's TRM Amboy, and that results in a virtual safety car. At the moment, my left front tire is on 69% tire wear, and it's getting quite tight actually, and went on for 2 more laps. I even did a personal best on that last lap, so that just goes to show how fast these medium tires really are around Spain. They are absolutely the best race tire around here, and I could not go any further, and I would also not want to go any further on these tires, because we have a fresh set of soft compound tires to bolt on. And Easy does it into the pit lane, a little bit conservatively, but the last thing I want is a 5-second time penalty, of course. 76% on the left front tire as I come into the pit lane. And as you can see, Tash and Pyro are net P2 and net P3 in this race, and somehow I managed to get out on track in P5, just behind Sestar again. So I'm not really sure what has happened during this race with a lot of the soft compound runners. We saw TRM Amboy crash out. I think Zach had a wheel issue somewhere during this race. And yeah, in theory I should not be P5 in this race, but somehow I am. And yeah, let's try and hunt down Sestar. And unfortunately, this is the 3rd time I extend on that little exit. This time Sestar's defending a bit more aggressively, but I managed to stick in slipstream quite nicely and used quite a lot of ERS. Left a little bit of space down the inside just in case he tried to come back. And we will now stay on board for my fastest lap of the race, because, well, ideally I would want an extra point, and more importantly I would want to pull away from Sestar. So this is just a win-win situation if I try to push as hard as possible on this lap, because we got such a massive tow down the main straight with DRS and slipstream. So I'm willing to use quite a lot of ERS on this lap, this time nearly keeping it flat through that right-hander. And as you can see, Gap's putting in 16.9 as the fastest lap right now, but we will absolutely obliterate that on this lap. Try and stay as close to the curb on the right hand side. Then final sector, this is just a very technical sector. Make sure you get your exit right, and for now just use up ERS to the line, and it's a 16.7 at the moment. Well, I didn't completely obliterate Gap's fastest lap, but still it's 2 or 3 tenths, which is quite good. And more importantly, we've also pulled out of the DRS range of Sestar. So at this stage my soft compound tires are a lot faster than Sestar's mediums. So I'm just gonna keep pushing and try and build that 3-second gap. Then halfway through lap 28, a yellow flag, and we see a Mercedes has been spun round by, I would guess, the exit curb on the right hand side of the hairpin. And more importantly, if you watch the top left, you can see Sestar got held up for approximately half a second here whilst overtaking Pyro. And that of course works massively in my favor, because especially the last 2 laps my soft compound tires will drop off relative to the medium tires. And yeah, just trying to keep it as consistent as possible, as I've been doing the whole race basically. And yeah, I was just really in the flow this race. I was just doing my own thing, wasn't worried about anything else that happened around me, except just keep going and going and going and trying to set the best pace possible. Got quite lucky here on lap 31 with the back marker that gave me a bit of DRS, which helped me to extend the gap to approximately 3.6 seconds at this stage. Final sector was where I gained the most time on Sestar, and even for a little moment the gap's gone up to 4 seconds, but this moment the medium tires will become better than my soft compound tires, as I make a bit of a mistake there. If that's basically the second biggest mistake I made all race except spinning, then I'm quite happy with that. Then the final lap, I was even catching Tash in the AlphaTauri here. I think he was just taking it very slowly as well, because he did not want to bottle his P2. Then the final sector of the race, we have a 3.6 second gap to Sestar, so in theory I should be able to hold on to this quite easily. TRMK Victor wins the race. He had very good pace, and I think if I had not spun I might have been able to keep up with him. And coming across the line, Tash will take P2 and I will somehow take a podium in this race. After spinning out on lap 1. So I'm very satisfied with the comeback I made, not very satisfied with my spin of course. Sestar in P4, Solid Ninja P5, and yeah, I think I got really lucky as well with many of the soft runners. I think having incidents trying to overtake medium and hard runners and spinning out, crashing into the wall, having wheel issues, and yeah, I think that's how I managed to just overcut so many people. I was never expecting to come out in P5 going from medium to softs. And yeah, congratulations to TRM K Victor for winning the race, Tash on his first podium, and I think I can just be happy with the fact that I've managed to still get a podium out of this race. Unfortunately my fastest lap got taken away by one of the Mercedes cars, who also finished inside the top 10. So that's a shame, not 16 points but 15 points. Overall though, I'm happy with this, and for next race I hope to reduce my warnings and not get a penalty, because I basically extended 4 times at the same corner, the penultimate corner, which is not really a corner where you can gain time, so need to work on that, but overall quite happy. If you did enjoy the video though, then as always I would massively appreciate it if you could hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye bye.